Ever wonder what makes a local business really feel local? It's not about some huge flashy ad campaign. It's about the story they tell, day in and day out. So today, we're going to break down how a local brand is actually built, using a real-world company as our guide.
Seriously, think about it for a second. Every single sign you drive by, every wrapped company truck you see, every banner hanging in front of a high school, that's all a visual language. It's telling you a story about your community, what it cares about, and who lives there.
So for this explainer, we're diving into the public info for a company called Signs & More, out of Georgia. And let's be super clear, this is not an ad. We're using them because they are a perfect blueprint for understanding the DNA of a local brand. You know, how they tell you who they are, what they do, and why you should care.
Okay, let's get right into it. The first piece of the puzzle, and honestly the most important, is establishing the who. This is the origin story. It's the foundation that everything else gets built on.
Every brand's got a beginning. For these guys, it started back in 2007 as a tiny 3-person operation. And that's not just a date, right? It's a story of grit. It tells you they've gone from being a small startup to a business that's been around for almost 2 decades in the metro Atlanta area. Now you see this number, 80+ years, and you're probably thinking, wait, didn't you just say they started in 2007? And yeah, you're right. This number isn't the company's age. It's the combined experience of their staff. It's a really clever way to show their deep expertise and basically tell customers, don't worry, we've seen it all before. And here's the part that ties it all together. They don't present themselves as some faceless corporation. No, they're a family-owned business. That simple phrase immediately creates a human connection. It paints a picture of a business that's actually part of the community it works in.
So we've got the who. We know their story. Now let's look at what they actually stand for. This is the brand's promise. It's the why behind all the work they do. It's the commitment they make to every single customer.
Now that is a statement. This is taken right from their guarantee, and it's not some fluffy marketing speak, is it? It's direct. It's a clear pledge. Language like this builds a ton of trust because there is absolutely no wiggle room. And they don't just leave it at that one sentence. They break down exactly what that promise means. These 4 points aren't just buzzwords. They're telling you how they'll deliver. We're going to build it well, we're going to make it just for you, we're going to treat you right, and we'll use the latest tech to get it done.
All right, so their identity is solid, and their promise is crystal clear. But how do they actually pull it off? Now we get into the what and the how. This is all about showing off their toolkit.
This is actually a really smart strategy. By showing that they handle the entire process themselves, from the first design idea to dealing with all the crazy permitting paperwork and then actually making and installing the thing, they're positioning themselves as an expert partner, not just a place that sells you a sign. They handle the whole headache for you.
You know, when a company does a lot, it can get overwhelming. It can just feel like a long, boring list. But look how they organize it. It's broken down into these neat, easy-to-understand categories. You've got your big stuff for outside, your signs for inside, and even graphics for things that move. It basically sends one simple message. No matter what you need, we've got the tool for the job.
Okay, so a local brand's story is really defined by the community it serves. The identity, the promise, the toolkit, it all leads to this final piece. Where do they operate and who are they there for? This is all about their footprint.
This statement lays out their turf perfectly. Their home base, their core market, is Metro Atlanta. But they also signal that they have the capacity to handle bigger projects by mentioning they work in neighboring states. It says, we're local, but we're also established and capable. And they get even more specific than that. By listing out individual counties, Fulton, Cobb, Cherokee, they're not just drawing a vague circle on a map, they're showing deep local knowledge. It's like saying, we're not just in this region, we are on these streets every single day.
And this right here, this is what truly cements them as a local brand. Their footprint isn't just about where they do business. It's about being invested. When you see they're supporting local schools and sports teams, you know they're a real community partner. They're putting back into the very neighborhoods they serve.
So, let's zoom out and put it all together. What we've done here is break down a brand into a really simple 4-part blueprint. You start with an authentic story of where you came from. You make a clear promise you can stand behind. You show off the tools you use to deliver on that promise, and finally, you define your community footprint. That, right there, is the anatomy of a local brand. So next time you're driving down your main street, I want you to try this. Look at the local businesses, the bakery, the auto shop, whatever. See if you can spot these 4 things. You'll start to realize that every single sign, no matter how big or small, is telling a story. And the real question is, what's the story they're telling you?